Psalm 125 verses 1 and 2 says, "They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people, from henceforth even forever." We are the Youngbloods. We would like to thank you for taking the time to allow us to share our burden with you. My name is David. My wife Tammy, Jacob, Micaiah, and Micah. We are sent out from the Anchor Baptist Church in Pisgah Forest, North Carolina, under their mission board, Anchor Baptist Missions International. We are answering God's call for us to go to the villages of Alaska. God has pricked our hearts to go and reach the people of the Arctic and tell them how Jesus came and died for their sins and rose again that they might have eternal life. God has opened the door for us to do an itinerant ministry, relieving the pastors and their families as they go out on much-needed furloughs.
Alaska is a land of extremes. Extreme weather, with temperatures reaching 40 and 50 below zero for weeks at a time. Extreme wildlife. Where America's largest and most amazing animals roam a vast frontier. Extreme daylight. In the summer, the sun never sets. Extreme darkness. In the winter, the days go by and the sun never rises. Extreme wilderness. Where the mountains come up out of the sea, the glaciers flow from the valleys down to the ocean, the tundra goes on for miles, and the mountains are so big they produce their own weather. And not to mention a magnificent view of what God has created. And with all this, extreme prices.
There are over 34 villages north of the Arctic Circle, many more scattered along Alaska's rivers and coastline. Many have not heard how Jesus can give them eternal life. Even with this need, there are only a few Bible-believing Baptist churches in the Arctic. These villages can only be reached by plane, sometimes boat, or snow machine. This makes the cost of living expensive and stressful, to say the least. The natives live in these conditions and think nothing of it. They have survived handing down the traditions and customs of their elders. Unfortunately, modernism, alcohol, incest, television, sexual abuse, substance abuse, and tragically suicide are some of the strongholds Satan has placed in these villages. But greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. My God is able to deliver these precious souls from the bondage of sin. God has blessed us with 3 wonderful children whom we are raising in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. While in these villages, God has allowed our children to have a big part in drawing in the youth to the church. We've noticed our children are like magnets, making friends almost instantly. This, in turn, allows for us to be received and to have liberty to minister to the village through the Baptist Church. It takes a lifetime to build a church in a village, literally starting with the youth and training them to be faithful. There are pastors who need to come out on furloughs but don't have anyone to watch their homes and carry on the services while they are gone. We want to help meet this need, and are calling upon God's churches to help us take the gospel to the villages of Alaska. Not because we desire a gift, but like the Apostle Paul, we desire fruit that may abound to your account. We have already been able to go and fill in for some of these pastors and have seen firsthand the way of life in the village. Even though preparations and logistics of going into these villages can be challenging, we are anxious to return to the Arctic and help these ministries reach the people. We need your financial support, of course, but we also desire your prayers as we prepare to go into the Arctic. Please pray about what God would have you to do in getting involved in this ministry. Thanks again for your time, and our prayer for you is that God would fill you with the knowledge of His will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding. Till He comes, the Youngbloods.